Hi everyone, I'm Humbly Anna Anders here on the YouTube channel, shooting a homemade YouTube video today here at home at forglobalpeace.com. And it's the day after my family reunion, and what I want to say is the struggle is so real for so many of us. And I want to give a shout out to my sacred family tree, if you will, and let people know, put them on notice, that I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. While it may seem that I'm so hateful, I'm not. I have a kind heart. It's always been here for everyone in the family tree. But what I am tired of is the snickering, the behind the scenes little comments and stuff like that, and just the corrupt energy that plays out and manifests in social situations. And yes, yesterday I was invited to a family reunion, and yes, yesterday I went. I did not want to go initially, but my youngest daughter, Juliana Schmoltz, said, "Mom, you need to go to the family reunion." And I said, "Juliana, don't push me." And she said, "No, you need to go and just be in the moment and enjoy it." And so humbly, I prayed about it, thought about it, and I'm thinking, my daughter's right. I mean, I'm a grandmother with children, adult children, and my sacred grandchildren, and my sacred great-granddaughter as well, Leilani. And so I am responsible, and in the reflection of all this and praying and meditating about it all, because once upon a time, when I was home here, when my adult children were babies, everybody used to flock to my home, okay? I think it was 1113 or 1013 Buer Avenue, a home that I bought from a high school teacher, a two-family home on Buer Avenue. But anyways, yeah, so everybody used to flock to my home back in those days. But prior to that, when I was a child growing up, 3618 Walton Avenue, we used to get in a car. I mean, and there would be a caravan every Sunday, and we'd head out to Streetsboro, Ohio, to my grandma Frances's place. My oldest daughter is I named my oldest daughter after my great-grandma Frances. So I was very family-oriented and very specific with that naming for my child, for a variety of reasons. I mean, my great-grandma Frances was my hero in the family tree, if you will. Everybody flocked to her place on Sundays, and the family kind of migrated out from that epicenter of the family tree, if you will. So, in lieu of all that energy, I knew that I had to go to this family reunion. But at the same time, it's the struggle is so real that, it's like I had to have my own boundaries, because there's been some severed relationships, that have manifested in the family tree. And it's not been severed because of me. I didn't, how do I say this? I never imagined severing relationships with people. But when you go through enough doubt, distrust, turmoil, betrayal from your own flesh and blood, your siblings that you would never think that would betray you, on levels of deception that are unheard of, weddings, funerals, my parents, I'm talking about specifically, because I experienced it from my end. And yeah, I was living in Arizona, and when my father died, and got the phone call at 9:11 p.m. Arizona time from my brother Joseph. So, and I knew before I even picked up my phone that my brother was going to tell me my dad died. So, because God told me that in my sacred heart space, and that turned out to be so true. So, in the meantime, though, and then my brother asked me, "What do you want me to do, Anna?" And I was like, "Joe, you asking me this to give me sacred respect and sacred honor of our father? Or are you asking me this question to betray me again as your sister?" And he said he was giving me his sacred honor. And I got to tell you guys, I got that phone call at 9:11 p.m. Flagstaff time. And I said, "Joe, wait till all the siblings get to corrupt Cleveland. Get to Cleveland, and then we can plan our father's funeral." And I got to tell you, within an hour's time, they were in my father's home, carrying out my father's things. My dad's things were not, my dad's body, sacred body, was not even cold. His body was still warm from his death. And I'm like, oh my God, they are not doing this. These people are not doing this. These people that did not go to visit my father when they were just miles within his home. And yes, I'm talking about my two sisters. Jackie and Sheila Paoli. So I'm sorry, folks, but it was disturbing. It was soul disturbing to see and experience all that on a soul level and a spiritual level. So humbly, what I want to say is the trials and the tribulations of family dynamics and energy is so real for all of us. And I don't discount that we all have pain about our family tree. I don't discount that at all. But here's my mouth, here's my being, and I'm willing to sit down with people and talk to them one-on-one. See, because to take a relationship, it takes two. That's all it takes. Joey and Anna to sit down. You know, Anna and her siblings to sit down. I got four siblings. So Anna and her siblings to sit down and talk. Anna and her siblings and her 3 adult children, because I want my 3 adult children there. Now, my brother asked me if I was going to this family reunion himself. I did say I was. Excuse me. I did say I was planning on going. But my youngest daughter did say maybe we should all sit down and talk. And to be honest with you, I got to watch my expectations, because I kind of expected maybe we were going to sit down and talk before the family reunion. But that never manifested. So somewhere in the sauce of life that got lost. But for me, that's a priority. That's important shit. So yeah, I showed up yesterday for my children and my grandchildren at that family reunion. I didn't show up for my siblings. And I need to clarify that and verify that for everybody. So I did not show up for my siblings yesterday. I showed up for my sacred nucleus family tree to honor that entirely. So, and then I kind of got disrespected on some levels, and I watched it play out. I got boundaries today, folks. Spiritual boundaries, and I'm going to maintain those for myself. So, and I'm not going to let people push me around like they used to. Ain't going to do it, because you're pushing around an activist, okay? Please don't forget that, okay? Your sister is an activist. Your auntie is an activist today. So, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take your corrupt, dysfunctional dynamics anymore. So if you want to talk to me, give me a jingle. My phone number, 928-699-0103. My phone number, 928-699-0103. Anna Anders. So yeah, that's where I'm at on the planet. I don't appreciate being disrespected anymore, and I won't allow it. And when I witness other people being disrespected too, emotionally and spiritually, I'm going to call people out on their shit too. You're not the only ones, folks, that get to call this stuff out. I'm part of the family tree dynamics too. I get to call it out too. So yesterday, I stepped on a thorn. And I said, fuck. And I went to pick my foot up to get that thorn out of my foot. And my little cousin, or not my little cousin, I apologize. My nephew, Tim Paoli, wanted to brake check me. But prior to that, I was sitting in my little shady spot with my grandson and my girlfriend, minding my own business. But he had some words for different people, and I was listening to it. Didn't take part in that. I got to shut off the video way too long. Thank you. I'll come back. Bye-bye.